Hello everyone, so I'm going to show you how to draw a floor plan if you're an interior design or architecture student, and in other terms that is called hand drafting. So if you have graphing paper but don't have a scale, that's great. Count each square as 1 foot. If you don't have graph paper but you do have a scale, watch and listen up. Since I'm drawing on 8.5 by 11, I'm going to do it at 1/4 inch. So that way it's not too small, but it's big enough for the viewers to see. If you don't know how to read a scale, it's pretty simple. I didn't understand it at first, but if you're drawing at 1/4 scale, that basically means every 1/4 of an inch equals 1 foot in your head. So this is 1/4 inch in real life, but when we're talking to scale, this is 1 foot. So this is 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, 6, 7, and so on. So the 1 isn't there, but they have the 2, they have 4, they have 6, and even numbers, and they go on. These little lines here are the inches, and that'll be at your beginning points of your scale. So I'm going to do a bedroom, so just a part of a house. So, and over time, as you go through design school, architecture school, you'll learn how to read a scale upside down. I'm going to start, and I'm going to make this bedroom 20 feet by 22 feet.
So I'm going to do the same on this end. Guys, I know last year grad school, I'm so excited. 20 feet. And then just connect these.
2. So the next thing you want to know about is the thickness of walls. This isn't just it. Walls have some type of thickness. So this is likely an interior, these are likely all interior walls since it's just a bedroom and it's part of a house. And one of these will probably be an exterior wall because you need a window in all the sleeping units. That's required by code. So I'll make this one the exterior wall and the rest interior walls. So the interior walls, I'll make 6 inches. So like we said earlier, this whole thing is a foot. So if this whole thing is a foot, this middle line here has to be 6 inches, which is half of a foot. So I'm going to draw that here, draw a little line to represent it, and then I'm going to take my scale and line it up and extend that line. Okay, and for the exterior wall, you can either make it a foot or 8 inches. I'm just going to go ahead and make it a foot. And so just to make it seem like this bedroom is a part of a full floor plan, I'm going to extend these lines here and I'm going to add some break lines. You'll usually use these when you are doing, let's say, an enlarged plan. And so you just want to zoom in on one section of a house. So you'll need to put break lines for the parts you aren't doing. So if this is where I'm ending, I'm going to draw a line just like this. And then I'm going to erase these extended lines that come past the break line. Alright, so now that we have our break lines, you want to draw doors and windows next. So I'm just going to pretend like the entrance is here. And I'm going to do 6 inches off of this wall. And that's where I'm going to draw the opening for my door. Now door frames they can be 2 to 2.5 up to 3. I've seen 6-inch ones for very ornate door frames, but let's just go with 2 inches for now. So once again, I'm literally just going to go 2 inches on the scale. Okay, and doors are usually 3 feet. So that is how far I'm going to draw my line. So once again, if you don't know how to read a scale, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, which is right past the 88 on the 1/4 inch in. Okay, and I'm just going to do another 2 inch for the door frame. So now we're going to draw the door swing. Obviously the door is 3 feet wide. I'm going to start from the inside of the door frame because this is the outside. The door starts from the inside. 3 feet here, and I'm just gonna draw that door swing from the inside like so. And then I'm going to erase these interior lines that cross the door. So next we're gonna do windows. You need that in all dwelling units, so just put that in your head. So I'm gonna do two, one on this end and one on this end, and I'm gonna make them 30 inches wide. So we have the 2 feet here, and then we're gonna go 6 inches, which would be this 88 mark, and that'll be 2 foot 6, which is 30 inches. And I'm just gonna draw them 1 foot away from these walls. Okay, so now that we've got all doors and windows drawn in, I'm going to now start with the furniture. One thing that is going to be very helpful for you in interior design school are these Mr. Pen furniture and shape design templates. So it comes with so many sheets. I even have more of these, but I don't know where they are. But these are the ones I do have left from when I purchased early in my design school academic career. So the sheet I'm going to be using is this one here, and it has bed sizes, it has laundry dryers, sinks, stoves, refrigerator, even has door swings, so you can perfect your door swings before you're able to do it freehand. They have toilets, they have ceiling fans, armchairs, wing chairs. I mean, there's so many. And then they also have sheets with regular shapes and ovals and things on it. So I'm actually going to use the king size. And I'm going to try to center it. Never put furniture all the way up against the wall. It's just not cute, and you're going to tear up your paint. So then I'm going to grab some nightstands. I'm going to use this one labeled table, and it's a 24 by 20. I think it's a really good size, so I'm just going to draw that here. And then I'm gonna add an armchair in the corner. This wing chair is actually really good. So these templates, they're really good and helpful if you wanna quickly get accustomed to hand drafting. Before you perfect your freehand style, these templates are great in helping you do that. And then I'm just gonna draw a cushion right here to connect the pieces with a little pillow. Like so. Okay, and then I'm gonna draw a little round cocktail table right here. I'm gonna use this rectangle here as a chest of drawers. I'm going to use this rectangle to make a desk here by the window. And then I'm just going to draw a little office style chair. I'm going to draw a plant in this corner here. So that looks something like this from above. Add little details. So to the bed, we need to add a headboard thickness, sheets, and a pillow. So for that, just gonna take a little bit of space from the bed. So that's the headboard. I'm gonna go down and draw the sheets folded backwards. And then I'm gonna use one of these rectangles here to draw the pillows. Okay, now on the nightstands, I'm going to show you a lamp symbol. So it is a circle, kind of like a peace sign, actually. It is a peace sign. So yeah, lamp symbol, and you want to beware of your line thicknesses. So that would show first on a floor plan. So I'm going to make that line a bit thicker than the nightstand. And so that's why it's also important to buy different weights of pencils. I will also leave the link down for this pencil set. This is just the number 7, but also comes in 2, 5, and 3, because when you're doing floor plans, line weight matters, and so that's one of those things. So if you don't have varying pencil weights, like individual pencils, just go a little heavier when you're drawing things that would show first on a floor plan. Your walls would be the thickest, or the heaviest, I should say. Alright, and then I'm going to draw a TV on this wall, mounted on the wall. So I'm just going to do like that and make those lines thick for that TV. And then on the desk, I'm going to draw a computer, desktop with a keyboard. It's all about the details. So then I'm gonna draw a body mirror, say right here, and it's gonna be wall mounted. Okay, so now that we've drawn the basics of a floor plan, you can also, if you want to be even more detailed, you can also draw the handles on a nightstand, or if they're knobs, you can do like this. It's like if the dresser has knobs, you would do like that. I'm also going to draw a rug, do a 12 by a 10-foot rug. One of the last things you want to do when hand drafting a floor plan, you want to add room tags, you want to add dimensions, and you want to poche your walls. So if you don't have a solid fill you want to do with them, you can just do cross hatching, or just do lines like this, and you would just continue them all across the border. Make sure they're all facing the same way. So after you've pocheted, one of the other first few things you're going to learn in architecture or interior design school is the architecture style handwriting. So it is basically like this. It is quick, it is chaotic, it is very aesthetically pleasing in my own eyes. Eventually this will probably turn into your regular handwriting. And so after the room name, you want to add the room number. So I'll say like 102, and you can also slightly draw the floor pattern on the floor plan. And you don't have to do the whole floor. If you want to, you can, but I like to just do a corner of it. Let's say this is LVT, and I like to do it pretty lightly. Okay, so after doing that, I'm just going to draw some lines going across to resemble LVT or wood. And then you can draw little wood strokes in it if you want to add more detail. These are the pens you're going to want to get for interior design school. I will leave this link down below. You're either going to want to get this brand or the Micron brand's also a very popular, good brand. So I'm going to be using the sizes 3 and 9. And so for the 9, I'm just going to basically draw the exterior walls with it. And as you can see, the tip, it's quite thick. You know, the bigger the number, the bigger the tip size. Now if you're inking on vellum, be very careful. Wait till it dries before you move your scale over. Vellum will bleed over into, you know, whatever else you have next to it. You gotta wait for it to dry. And be sure not to cross over the ink with your open door area. That I'm just gonna go in and do the windows and the doors and the brake lines. Alright, so now I'm going to take my number 3 and I'm going to do all the furniture. Yes, I know my rug is a little off center, but that is not the point of this video. The point is showing you just how to draw a floor plan, okay? What inking does, it defines your lines a lot more, makes your drawing a lot more visible. Now for the lamps, I am going to draw them with a 9 because they should be thicker anyway. Their line weight should be much thicker than the nightstands because they would show first on a floor plan because it's taller. Alright, so now that I'm done inking, I'm going to poche with the black ink again, and then we'll be done. Now that I've inked everything, I'm going to go in with my eraser. I'm not going to ink my flooring pattern just because I want to keep that light and airy, but you can ink yours if you want. So basically, you just lightly go in and erase all the penciling. Okay, and then I'm going to take my dust brush, which is so soft, the bristles are, and you're going to want this especially because your hands, especially if you're left-handed, even right-handed, when you're erasing, you might have some smudging going on. This will prevent smudging. And you just slightly brush it off. And now that is how you hand draft a floor plan.
And stay tuned for my next video because I will teach you how to hand render a floor plan. I will also make a video on how to do a detailed drawing on a floor plan, digital and hand drafted. So stay tuned for that, and thank you so much for watching.
Make sure to click the links down below to purchase any of the items mentioned in this video. God bless.